Sure is.
I have no idea what the format's gonna be either, so we'll see how this goes. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the new edition of the JG3 podcast, or whatever the fuck I decided to call it. Our first guest had to be one of our very first members when we opened the door, the one and only Angie D herself.
Woohoo!
So we don't really have a format on this. She showed up with a nice Yeti cup full of water and some sunglasses, and fresh off of kids' volleyball and golf. And I left work for my lunch break to do this. So
Well, don't I feel
we're
special?
gonna have some fun today. But let's go back to the beginning. It was almost five fucking years
5
ago now.
years, yep.
January 1st, which is a great day to open a gym.
Oh yeah.
We decided with very little announcement that we were going to open up a gym.
I didn't even hear about it until Christy Goon mentioned it to me, so.
When did she mention it? Like an hour before you came?
No, like a week.
I was going to say,
about a week, yeah.
Actually, Christy had been working with me in the barn for a couple months.
Yeah.
And she was very supportive at the beginning. Her schedule's just...
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I did some online stuff, and then it just got to be overwhelming to keep up with, because if you're doing online stuff, you gotta constantly be filming, and I was in the process of launching a new gym, so obviously my time was very limited. So yeah, I think we told the people that were in the barn about 2 weeks before we opened, because it was still uncertain with the building and everything. The people that were renting it before us were still renting the front, and they had a mess of shit. And it was like one day our landlord calls and is like, I might not even cash your first month rent because you might not be in. And I'm going, well, I kind of need to know. So he calls me like a week before we open and said, I got them get all their shit out. If you want, you can move in. And we went crazy with being here a long time for a long stretch there for about a week, getting everything set up.
Yeah.
And then we put, I think it was just a Facebook post that said, by the way, new gym opening tomorrow. And I was sitting there going, fucking nobody's gonna show up. You know, Debbie wasn't even involved in the business yet.
I don't remember her being here the first day. That was a long time ago though.
I don't remember who showed up that first. I know she was with me until New Year's Eve. We were here until like 11:30, setting everything up. We spent our New Year's here, so I don't think she came down right away.
Yeah.
If at all, New Year's Day. I don't really remember. I remember back then we had a lot more classes than we do now.
I think we did 9, 10, and 11 on the weekends.
And noon.
Did you?
Yeah. 9, 10, 11, and noon. And that's why I get confused on if you or the Lunsfords were the first people that came, because you guys both came that first day.
Well, most likely I did not come to 9 because I like to sleep. So I
Yeah,
probably came to 10.
that hasn't changed in,
No.
in 5 years, I
No.
don't believe.
No.
But I remember opening the doors and just being blown away by how many. I think we had 70-some people walk through that first day, which is insane to me. So walk me through the process of Chrissy mentioning it and you showing up. Were you?
Well, I had hadn't picked a gym for the longest time after I had kids, and never fully felt comfortable wherever I was at.
Yeah.
And so I needed a place to go. And Christy said she loved working out with you in the barn, and she just convinced me to come down and just try it. So I did, and actually, kind of after the second time I came, I was like, yeah, I think I can do this on a regular basis.
Yeah,
And it was just very welcoming when I came in.
That's awesome. Which is funny because I still laugh at one of the things that would be fun on this podcast is hearing everybody's first impression of the first time I say something really fucking stupid to you, which usually doesn't take that long. I'm a firm believer in just being yourself, because I'm going to say some dumb shit at some point, so I might as well get it out before you pay us. That way I don't offend you after you pay us. So I don't really remember our first couple interactions. I remember being in the airport on my way to Chicago when me and Christy kind of came up for the idea for the Angie Durnwald. So I remember you telling me you were going to be there for a while and then you were going to disappear for a bit because you had your health stuff going on.
Yeah, that was part of the reason I wanted to get back into it, because having going through chemo, and I needed to get my body back in order as much as I could possibly get it back in order. But I remember Christy telling you the first day, be good to her, be good to her.
I remember that. And I think that's why maybe I didn't say anything that's stupid, because
no,
Christy
I think it
was
lasted
like,
about a week or two.
Yeah, because Christy was really like, hey, be nice to Angie. And I'm like, I'm always nice to people. And she goes, yeah, but people that don't understand you think you're an asshole when really you're just fucking around. And I was like, fine. And she was like mama bear.
Oh yeah, she was very mama bear with me.
So you only I want to say you came for like 2-3 weeks before you had to go back for.
It was in January.
Did you go back for a surgery or
I
something?
had a surgery. I think it wasn't till March I had my surgery. So I was here for a little over.
That's right. You
I was
ended
here
up
a
doing
little over 2 months.
You ended up doing the surgery almost right after the event.
Yeah.
So I'm misremembering kind of how long you were around. It was probably 2 or 3 weeks in that I was traveling to. I was in Chicago. I don't remember where the hell I was going, but Christy texted me, and I remember how we got on the subject. Christy was just talking to me about, like, I had done my first named workout that I made up. That was like the JG3 or the Punisher or some shit like that. And everybody was kind of I don't want to say up in arms, but everyone was like, holy shit. That was the first like workout that I came out and said, hey guys, this is how bad I can challenge if you want. Because I kind of went, I'm not going to say easy on you, but I didn't want to kill anybody right off the bat.
Right.
So I threw this workout that I made called the Punisher, and like everybody was just bodies everywhere going, what the?
I think I remember that one, because I came in the morning, and it might have actually been on my birthday after you, I don't know, that was later, but it was another one, but I thought it was absolutely terrible. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I've done that a few times. But she texted me and she said, and I knew you had health stuff going on because she had told me, but I never knew that you had the breast cancer. It was just kind of one of those things. And she said, hey, if you really want to do a fun name workout, you should do one for Angie. And I'm like, you know, I'm Mr. Take it from here and take it to 100 real fucking quick. And I'm like, oh shit, we should do a fucking fundraiser for it. And she's like, you've been open 2 weeks and you're gonna plan a fundraiser? And I'm like, I don't think with conventional wisdom. I think, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And she was like, so we had the whole thing, I don't say we had it planned out, but I started laying out what I thought could end up being what became the Angie Durnwald. And I remember I'm like, I'm getting on a fucking airplane. You need to give me a screenshot from Angie that says yes, or because I didn't know you at all. I mean, I didn't think we interfaced in the gym.
Yeah.
But even back then, I wasn't the primary coach most days because I was traveling a lot for work. So it was like, I knew you, but I didn't know you.
Right.
So I was like, I need some kind of documented proof that says
I remember
Angie's
is
okay with it.
I was teaching and I went on my break and I looked at my phone and Christy had messaged me asking, are you okay with this? Jay needs to know if you're good. And I was honestly like kind of blown away at first because I'm like, they don't even know me.
Yeah.
It's only been a few weeks and they want to do this. And it wasn't just for me, it was for other people that were involved in that.
Well, I think we were trying to decide, it wasn't just, do we do a fundraiser, do we do the event? It was who's going to be the beneficiary and things like that. And there were a lot of moving pieces with that. So it was a lot of things being tossed out.
Oh, yeah.
And then her telling me all of the important days. It ended up being like we had to do it basically within 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I remember landing, turning my phone, because this was back when you weren't allowed having phones even in airplane mode back then. And I remember landing and opening my phone to like 46 text messages, and I'm like, I'm not that popular of a guy, what the fuck? You know, what just happened? And it was, one of them was the screenshot with you just saying yes. And then I remember texting Debbie going, am I fucking nuts for this? And she goes, yeah, but you're always fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So she's like, I remember she goes, well, if we raise like $1,000, that would be pretty cool. And I'm like, fuck that shit, we're gonna raise at least 2. And she was like, now see, that's where you're going too far, Jay. You're moving it up. And I remember that's when I got your number. We started developing what is now, we did our 5th one. We moved it after the event, because the event we actually did March 1st.
Yes.
And we moved it after that to the 27th of February, which is the actual date. But we ended up making what is still probably one of the hardest workouts. Every time February rolls around, people start loving them some Angie D.
Yeah, everybody hates me that day.
So it was, but that was the first time I realized the positive impact you can have on the community with very little build up.
Right.
You know, we kind of just.
There was a ton of people that showed up.
I couldn't believe
that
it.
day.
Like, I remember going to bed on the 28th of February going, we're doing this freaking event on a Sunday at like, I want to say it was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I'm like, we very well could just walk into an empty freaking gym. We had people, we had a DJ, I mean, we had everything set. And I remember walking in and just being like, holy shit, there's a lot of people here. And we had so many people donated raffle items, door prizes, and all that fun stuff. Then we added in Alexa's Butterfly of Hope, and that brought a whole different crew of people in. And I want to say,
because their family came as well.
I want to say we were probably over the fire limit for that day.
Probably.
But
yeah, it's for a good
it's
cause.
a little late for them to yell at us about that now. But I remember doing that workout and being, I'd never really worked out in front of the group. Like, I was very reserved early on with the gym. I never wanted this to be about me, even though we stuck with the name JG3 because I had already kind of built the personal training brand. I never wanted it to be about like, oh, look at what Jay can do. So that the first, like, up until that day, I don't think anybody other than the coaching staff or maybe 1 or 2 people had actually seen me work out. So I remember like almost being nervous, like, oh shit, like most of these people haven't seen me. And then I'm going, fuck, I tell them they better do shit right, you know? So I'm like sitting there going, man, I gotta go above and beyond and make sure everything's up to snuff, so to speak. And it ended up being, that's still one of my best memories of JG3 was that was just such a cool, not knowing anybody to, that was when we went from being just a gym to, you know, quote unquote fit fam.
Right.
Like that was when it was like, oh shit, we, you know, none of us knew each other. We ended up raising $2,000 for Alexa's Butterflies of Hope, and it was just, it was cool. And I think that's when it was like, when you share stuff like me and you did for that, and we had so many conversations about how to do the workout, there are things about your life that like, it's weird. February rolls around and I almost get anxious, like, oh shit, we're coming up on, you know, these important dates. And it's like, it's just funny that you end up having, you just develop that bond so quickly. And that's when I was like, all right, fuck this, now I can be a smart ass too.
Right, oh yeah.
And I remember,
it didn't take long. I think I smarted off something to you and you're like, okay, I see how it is. I don't need to be so nice.
Like, okay, she's a little tougher than Christy let her on to be, and it's always fun. Now it's comical looking back 5 years because I fuck with you so much every time you walk in. I usually introduce you as the new member.
Oh yes, I'm the new member every time. Newest, oldest member every time I walk into the damn gym.
And you're always like, I've been coming to 9 a.m. and I'm like, I haven't seen you, it doesn't count.
Your wife has, so leave me alone.
But it's funny because we've been through, like you said, we've had 5 years of just, we've been through nagging knee issues, shoulder issues. It's just, it's funny, yet you still, what did you hit the other day? You ended up hitting like a 30-pound PR on your jerk or something like that?
145.
Yeah.
Last time I did it was 120.
So we go through all these, me picking on you for not coming a lot, and then you shut me up because I coach a Friday morning class because we're going on vacation. We were actually going to Ironman, and you're like, watch this motherfucker, and tell me I skip. I just hit a 25-pound PR.
Skip shit, leave me alone.
Which is just funny because it's like, you forget how quick, just with a little consistency, you can gain a lot of traction. And I know, you know, you talked about not being able to find a gym up until walking in, and you were really only a member for 2 months before you went and had a bunch of health issues or surgeries, or I don't remember what exactly you had. But didn't you come back and say something like they were shocked at how quickly you bounced back because of the shape you were in, or something along those lines?
Oh yeah, I mean, every time I went back in, they're like, you're good. You can tell you're recovering so much faster because of keeping yourself active and doing the things that you're doing. And I always ask my doctors, do I stop? Do I limit myself? And they said, no, you have to push yourself to where you feel is comfortable and what you are comfortable with feeling, and not hurting myself. But they said they never gave me any limitations, and so I just.
And I remember there was a time when you would do like push-ups or bench press or things like that. We had it was a struggle because of what you've been through.
And it's still, certain things are still and never will be what it was prior to my surgeries. And I've learned to deal with that, but it was hard to accept that. And understand that it is what it is, and I can't do anything about it. I can't change. But yeah, bench press is my nemesis. I will always and forever hate that lift because it's the muscles that need to be there they have been severed. So, but I've learned to just accept it, and if it's what I lift the least, then whatever.
Which has gotten better, because I remember, it might have been 2 years now, we had a bench press day, and you just looked so down
defeated
when you were lifting, and I just was like, I'm gonna send her a little, hey, don't forget the journey you've been on, text. And
that day was I walk in defeated. I mean, I knew. And then I think I got in the car, and I think I cried for like a few minutes, and then 2 minutes later, I think your text comes through, and I'm like, oh, it was that obvious.
It wasn't that.
I tried not to, but
I mean, people forget that, my job as a coach is to pay attention to what's going on around me. And I think sometimes coaches get lost in their own ego, and they're trying so hard to impress people. And I dealt with this with a lot of coaches that have worked for me, or a lot of coaches that I see coach. And trust me, when I first started, it was very difficult, because you want to sit there, and especially when you're doing personal training, which is the background I came from, you want to just talk. You want to talk about all the things you know, all the things that nobody gives a fuck about what you study. Nobody cares about anything. They want to know that you care, and they want to know when they're doing something wrong. That's about it. But it's so many of us get caught in, I got to use words, I got to impress the client, when in reality, sometimes it's the simple, I noticed the look on your fucking face. Keep your head up. Tomorrow you're going to crush it, because while bench press sucks for you, power cleans are your favorite movement. So let's remember there's the yin and yang there. And sometimes, I was having a conversation with, I think it was Lex, the other day, and she was asking me something. I said, never underestimate the power of your reminders on your phone. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, when you first meet someone and you hear, it always comes up, when's your birthday, what are these important dates? If you think that person's going to become an important person, you just put a reminder in your fucking phone. It's Angie D's birthday this day. People are amazed when you send them a text. Hey, happy birthday. Hey, I remember this is a tough day for you because you had your surgery, or it's your anniversary of beating cancer, or whatever. It's not that you remember it. It's that you cared enough to put it in your fucking phone, so that you send them the message. Because to them, it doesn't matter to you if I'm sending you that message that I remembered because it popped up on my phone. You're just like, damn, he remembered that. And as a coach, my job that day was just to recognize, hey, you were having a tough day. You hit it well. It's just I mean, I
I mean, in my mind, I mean, you look around and it's like, they're all doing that, and it's like,
They're all hitting.
I got my bar with 5 on each side, I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Everybody else is hitting these
Yeah.
huge PRs,
Yeah.
and you're going, yeah. But to them, they didn't go through what you went through.
Right.
So for you to even be with the bar with 5s
Mhm.
is pretty damn impressive. And we all have that one thing
Yep.
that just every time you see it, you're like, why do I suck at this so bad? I can work on it so much.
Yep, I know.
And it never gets better.
No.
It does get better, you just don't realize
I
everybody
know.
else gets better at the same frequency as you, so
Mhm.
you're still just feel like,
Yep.
you know, I work on burpees every day, but I still
Ugh.
suck at them.
Yeah.
But,
I know.
yeah, it's,
But no, I will say, I mean, you have done an amazing job with getting me through some frustrating times in the gym, and it's very much appreciated, and know that I do take notice to
Yeah.
that, so I thank you for that.
well, and I think it's just, it doesn't have anything to do with getting you through, it's just, like I said, paying attention to those little
Mhm.
signs that, hey, I'm having a rough day. The feeling could be, or is mutual, because there are times I don't think the gym members realize how shitty of a day I'm having before I come in here, but I learned a long time ago, if I walk in pissed off, angry, depressed, down, the experience for you guys ends up being way down. And one of the best compliments I got early on, before we made all the changes that first year when we went to Debbie being on the staff,
Yeah.
and me starting to take over a lot of the coaching, it was kind of a compliment, but it was kind of not at the same time, which was the gym runs much differently when you're here versus when it's not.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart, because I was like, man, it should be the same experience whether I'm here.
Yeah.
And I get there's gonna be a different, you know, I work for Crown Battery for a living. When Hal walks into a room, it's different than
Right.
when it's just
Mhm.
me or somebody else. I get that I'm the owner. But the way they worded it was, you don't realize how different
Right.
it is when you're not here. And it was like a kick in the junk. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, what am I missing?
Yeah.
And, but nobody cares the way you care about your own business. So when I walk in here, this isn't a job to me. Like, when,
Mhm.
you know, I was joking around with Kylie at the juice bar today, and she was like, I know, you work 2 jobs, and I'm like, I don't consider my business a job.
Yeah.
This is what I do, with my free time. This
Yeah.
is just what I don't know, even if I didn't have the gym, if I wouldn't be doing something very similar, just
Yeah.
not in an official capacity.
Right.
Because, I mean, there's pictures over here where, you know, I wasn't a personal trainer yet. And
Yeah.
all these pictures you look at, it's
Mhm.
never just me doing stuff. It's
Right.
always a group of us doing things. Like, that's just how.
Well, you can tell you're passionate about it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, after the Ironman, I wasn't very passionate about fitness. I was like, this is a fucking stupid idea. You know, I had to remind myself several times during that it was for a bigger reason that I was doing it. But I just, you know, whether it's going to a sporting event, whether it's, you know, arranging a Mud Hens trip, Indians trip, a barbecue, I just, as Debbie says, I don't know how to do things on a smaller
No.
scale. She's like, did you have to invite 40 people to our house? We couldn't have had a small
Maybe.
barbecue? And I'm like, no. And, you know, like our camping trip's coming up for JG3, and she's like, we're taking how many people with us? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, even camping an Ironman, I said this on one podcast, and one guy walks over and he's like, how many of you people are doing this? And I'm like, only 4. Well, who the hell is everybody
It's a
else? And
family.
I'm like, yeah, it's just, this is
Yeah.
how I roll.
Yeah.
And it's just, I believe in the power of family.
Mhm.
You know, like, as hard of a day as February 23rd was earlier this year, we kind of were joking at Joe's little get-together
Mhm.
luncheon after his funeral, and we all needed to come back here and do a workout and
Oh,
be
yeah.
around each other. And it was like a very weird, sorry, my phone keeps going off. But it was a really weird vibe where everybody was no one was really talking or joking around.
No.
But you were kind of just soaking up the fact that
Mhm.
we were all feeling the same thing, but nobody wanted to talk about it.
No.
You know,
It was a quiet workout. It was a long 40.
It was 42, 43. It was whatever his birthday was. So it was 79 to 19, I want to say, or 73 to 90, 46 minutes.
Yes, that was a long 46 minutes. But the whole time, everybody was just like, "This is what we do."
Yeah.
This is.
It's just, yeah, it's what we do. We put our heads down, we grind together. Occasionally you look up and you just kind of make eye contact. And
Yep.
and that's, again, we talked about coaches recognizing stuff earlier. It's become, you lock eyes with someone during a workout, and it's like you have an entire conversation without saying anything. It's like you don't even have to make hand movements anymore. It's like, oh, you're gonna puke too? You know,
I might die as well.
you just do that, but I wish you could put into words how you feel when you share that bond with people.
Oh, yeah.
Because it truly is, like, when we finish the workout, we walk around and high five each other. Like, it's funny to sit back and watch newer members, like, looking like,
What is this?
What's this? And then they're like, oh, I want to do it too. It's like a puppy seeing a toy, like, oh, I gotta go do this.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, I don't remember when that really started. Because if you remember the first couple.
You always did it after every workout. You always went up to us individually. That, for as long as I can remember, you've always done that to each of the individual athletes. But then, honestly, I can't remember when it started with the whole team, just everybody, no matter what.
Yeah, one day it was just one of those. Someone asked me, they're like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "Because we just shared some shit together, and you should go around and congratulate each other." And whoever it was I was talking to, and I honestly 100% don't remember, they just go, "Cool," and they followed me, and that was like, a line just formed, and it was like, all right, there you go.
It's just habit now for everybody after everything.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, I take it as a sign of respect, like, hey, we just went through something hard together, something easy, whatever you feel about the workout, it's like, hey, I appreciate you sharing that with me, because there's a lot of people, you know, we still have a lot of people in this country, in this city, in this, you know, in this community not working out. You know, it's amazing. You know, you look back, and I just posted some progress pictures that everybody shared. And you look back, I don't remember Amanda looking that way. You know, I don't remember Morgan looking that way. Now I've just always looked at them at this badass that I don't want to mess with, and it's like, oh shit, you know, but we've been through so much together that every single high five you share, you're like, okay, we're getting that much closer, and the cool thing is knowing we're not done, you know what I mean? Knowing what could be next, because, you know, you talked about hitting a 25-pound PR earlier. You've been doing this for 5 years, and you still find these movements where you're like, oh, I'm still seeing progress, and I think that's cool, because there's so many people that come in. I just had a meeting with someone yesterday that's tried, you know, she's just sitting here just listing off things that she's tried and hasn't worked and all that. And I'm sitting here going, you know, the majority of our members have been here for quite some time. So it's interesting that we still find the ways.
That's one of the members that's doing the 6-week challenge, Ashley.
Swinehart?
Yep.
She crushes it.
She had talked to me Monday morning, I think, and she's like, I just don't know how to do any of these lifts, and I'm like, we've all been there.
Yeah. And
like, I've been here for 5 years, so by now, yes, I should know how to do it. I said, I was in your same shoes. I said, so you can't get discouraged, you just gotta keep on, you'll get it. You'll get it eventually.
She's got the right attitude, though. She'll send me a text, or I'll send her a text and be like, hey, you know, here's what we agreed we were going to do this week, you know, more water logging, whatever. And it's different for everybody. And she says that, she'll be like, I just don't, like, it's so frustrating not knowing how to do it. And I'm like, trust me, like, today's a perfect example. Thursdays are kind of I'm testing. So there's 2 new movements in the workout today that I've never even personally done. So I sit here and I learn the movement, and I'm like, okay, I get the value for it. Let's test it out. Sometimes it's a freaking train wreck. Sometimes it's amazing. But Thursdays become that day where everyone's like, oh, we're gonna see some crazy shit today, because they know they know the format, but they don't know
Yeah.
the movements, and then they're like, devil's presses doesn't sound very fun, and I'm like,
That sounds
well,
terrible.
they're not fun, you know. But there's other movements that end up being like, people are like, oh, can we do those? And,
Yeah.
like when we were doing Member Monday, we got so far away for a while there, we got away from doing the Olympic lifts, because we just had newer people strolling through,
Right.
and I was like, we need to just
Yeah.
take a sabbatical, because like you said, those techs, it's hard when you're first learning that stuff, so it became an optional.
It can be
hazard.
intimidating when you
Very,
come in
very
and you don't know and you see other people doing those movements and you want to do it right, but you just don't have it
Yeah,
yet.
and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, and then they get frustrated because they feel like, you know, they ask for your help and then you give them personalized attention and they're like, nobody else is getting personalized attention.
Right.
Why, you know, what am I doing wrong? But they don't realize that there's probably been, you getting good at the clean, I probably spent several one-on-one moments with you where we're trying to dial it in and just little tweaks.
Yeah.
Little tweaks here or there. So that's why I started adding a lot more kettlebell and dumbbell stuff, because there are people like Ashley, the first time I have her actually grab a barbell to do a clean, I'll be like, hey, remember these 3 kettlebell movements? And she'll be like, yeah, we're just gonna put them all together.
Yeah.
So now she's already done this whole movement. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, and I can remember how we push it over our head? Now we got the
Yeah.
jerk aspect, but you know, over 5 years of a lot of mistakes programming wise, I'm starting to finally find that, okay, you shouldn't just jump straight into, you know, this or that. I mean, shit, back then, the first probably 3 months you were there, we deadlifted all
We
the
deadlifted
time.
all the
We
time.
deadlifted all the time. I was like, the only way to get strong is the deadlift.
Yep.
Now I'm like, you don't have to deadlift that
No.
much to get strong. I personally couldn't tell you the last time I deadlifted. I just found other ways to work
Yeah.
my hamstrings, butt and back. And it's not that I think the deadlift is bad, it's just for me personally, having a bad back and neck, it's like bench press to you.
Yeah.
I can do it, but every time I do it, I end up being angry with myself and it hurts for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll do it light,
Yeah.
but going heavy just,
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about this style programming is there's never a time where your ego doesn't get knocked the fuck
Right.
down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you could, the funny thing is you can go from a high, like hitting a 25-pound PR and a jerk, to the next day getting buried by a workout
Yeah.
go, how did I go from this to just questioning everything I know about fitness in a less than 24-hour period. And I think the people that come here have this almost humbleness about them because you just get knocked down so much. So
You walk
learn.
into a workout and you think, that doesn't look bad. I got this. No problem. You're 5 minutes in and you're like, when is it over?
I always tell new people there's two kinds of workouts. The one that you look at and you know is gonna suck.
Yeah.
And guess what? It sucks. And then the workout, and this is the trap that we all fall into. I did it yesterday with a running test. You look at it and you go, that's not gonna be that bad. You know, I looked at that workout and I was like, man, I just finished an Ironman. Running 3.5 miles with 60 burpees, 60 push-ups, and 60 air squats in between. This is gonna be cake. Then I realized about the second round of squats, I was like, this ain't gonna be cake. I'm in trouble. And then I realized as I was running right before the next set of burpees, I was like, not only am I in trouble, I might puke. And it was just, I didn't respect the workout. You always have to come in and respect.
I think
what you're
Jeremy
doing.
thought he was going to pass out. He was doing the second round of burpees. And he's pouring water on himself. He's like, I think I might pass out. We're like, drink water, you'll be all right.
Debbie said he was just like mumbling to himself.
Oh yeah. Gibberish. And then he came in, he finished with like 15 seconds to spare underneath the time cap, so.
Yeah.
And then
In saying that, that is one of the most aggressive time caps I've ever put on a workout. That's kind of one of those workouts where I go, you shouldn't finish. It's almost like you shouldn't finish this until you have a pretty elite level of fitness. And even saying that, I finished it twice, and then yesterday I finished it, but it wasn't under the time. because again, for me coming in yesterday, I just biked and swam 70.3 miles. The difference is I trained at like a 10-minute mile pace. I go do the first mile in 7:05, and instantly I'm like, fucked up, dude. You done did it again. You done did it.
You dumbass.
And then it's just, and once you realize you screwed up and I was 7 minutes into a 40-minute workout, there's no recovery.
No, you can't.
You can recover, it just means you're going very, very slow at that point, and you're just like, oh.
Not gonna lie, I did the EMOM.
That EMOM was a bitch too, though.
That was not easy, and we had 4 people, so Debbie added a 4th. Mondays we do whatever we want, or mornings we do whatever we want.
I know.
But we did the EMOM, but we added all the burpees, air squats, and push-ups in it that you guys did for the running one. So the 4th.
She tried explaining it to me, but it wasn't making sense. So I'm like, wait, you did all, like in the 4th minute, you did burpees, squats, and
they just followed whatever I chose to do. So I started with the burpees, then I did the other 3, then I did air squats, and then I did push-ups. So we added that in.
But hitting 12-calorie row, 10, and I heard she lowered that even more, but 12-calorie row, 10-calorie bike, 8-calorie ski, in a minute, if you're not pushing it, you're gonna get 10 seconds rest.
Yeah, I was dying by, we were only halfway through. Oh my God. Well, she made it go longer too.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't 20 minutes, it was 28.
Yeah.
So.
That's, any workout you do is gonna kick your butt.
Oh yeah.
It's all about relative intensity to yourself. If you're moving consistently for that long, it's gonna be hard. Now, I mean, I get that some people go through the motions and it's an easier workout, but they end up getting the results of going through the motions and it being an easier workout. But
I have to say this summer I've learned how to push myself more this summer.
Only took 5 years.
Only took 5 years. But I did
For
it.
those of you not watching the video, she just flipped me the bird for no reason whatsoever. I was being kind.
Bullshit.
That's the tough part. Me and Kyle had this conversation after his first workout back, which was Monday. He's like, why was that so hard? I said, it's a different level of pushing. Like, you're pushing in an endurance event, how long will my mind keep pushing my body because my body's not going to quit? It's usually your mind. But in doing that, you have to back off the intensity because you have 5, 6, 7, 8 hours out there. When you're doing, say, a 28-minute EMOM, backing it down like it's a 6, 7, 8 hour workout isn't beneficial. You have to actually attack each minute as if that's the only minute you have to do in order to get the rest to recover. But then you danger yourself when I push it too hard, and then say I do 12-calorie row in 22 seconds. My heart's so high, are you able to, and then I don't know how you are, I always sit there and I'm like, all right, close your eyes, don't pay attention to anything. And I just watch the clock and I'm like, you're not recovering, you're not recovering, you're not recovering. So then you stress that you're not recovering. And then you get on the bike, which is just as bad, if not worse than the rower, and you're like, you're not recovering for this. And then you basically just fight.
I think the only time I recovered was on air squats. That was my time when I could
recover. I have, the air squats were the worst part for me yesterday. I don't know why. Because we were doing so much biking and running, my legs weren't up for squatting, so I was telling, I don't remember who it was, I think it was Courtney McNair who was standing there, she's like, your legs should be strong. I'm like, I haven't squat since like middle of June. They're strong, they're just strong in a different way. And it's so interesting how you can attack a workout 3 different ways and get 3 different results. They're all within the same general range of each other, but still have that, ooh, that didn't feel very good. But then you wake up the next day and you're like, I'm perfectly fine. Yesterday I thought I was dying and gonna have to cut off my legs. Today I'm like, what do we got on the agenda? Outside of the first month, do you remember the first month being super, super, super sore?
Oh gosh, I couldn't even go to the bathroom or walk down my stairs without holding on to like something. hurt. Everything hurt.
Let me ask you this. This is a very important question, and I don't know if you're lying. Have you ever been so sore you're like, fuck it, I'm sleeping on the couch so I don't have to walk up and down the stairs?
No, because my bedroom's on the middle floor.
Oh,
so I don't have to walk
yeah.
upstairs to go.
Yeah.
So no.
I've literally looked at my stairs and been like, it's not worth it. Debbie, throw me my pillow, please. I'll be down here with the dogs. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm 100% dead serious.
Oh yeah, it was bad that first month or so. And even certain days, you'll use a muscle that you haven't used for a month in your. I had a week off when we went on vacation, and so Monday's workout, Tuesday I thought my whole back was gonna.
Did Debbie introduce you as a new member?
No, she didn't. She's not an ass.
She is, just in a different way, not to you.
Not to me.
Not to you.
Not to me.
That's hilarious. I always find, me and Debbie were joking about this because we're getting ready to go on vacation, and by the time this post will have already gone, so I can talk about it. But every time we go on vacation, people are like, "You two are gonna sit around and do nothing." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, finally this time."
Mm-hmm.
We'll get down on Monday. By Tuesday, I'll be like,
"You'll be antsy."
And I remember we went to Vegas for 4 days back in October, and it was the same thing. I'm like, I'm sleeping in, blah, blah, 4 o'clock in the morning, we're up wide awake, walking down to the Hard Rock, walking around. We walked like 25,000 steps according to my watch, and she's just like, what is it about us that doesn't, like, we can do it for 1 day, it feels like. Now I'm hoping because we're going to a beach.
Yeah.
Get in the water, all that stuff, that kind of breaks up.
That's still a little bit being active and doing stuff. Kids going?
No. Our 10-year anniversary was back in June, and because where that fell in Ironman training, we were like, we're not big anniversary celebrators, because our first anniversary ever was like 2 months after Trenton was born.
Yeah.
So we went to dinner, and we were both like, we gotta get home to the baby.
Yeah.
So we just every year, and then the second anniversary, Skyland was like a week away from being born or some shit, or like 2 weeks away from being born. So we started out as one of those, like our anniversary wasn't a big deal because we had this conversation when we got married. We're either gonna rent or we're gonna get used Harleys and travel, or we're gonna get pregnant right away and raise kids. Because Debbie was already a little older than I was. I was late 20s, she was early 30s, and we're like, hey, if we're having kids, we need to do it. And as I was looking for Harleys, she told me she was pregnant. So,
oh, well,
so
that answered that.
Right off the bat, we kind of had, our lives ever since we've been married has been very hectic. So we always said by 10 year, we're going to do something.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those, we planned it, never committed, and then finally, the week we did our trial Ironman at East Harbor, Debbie's like, okay, you can book it, because I'm like, every day, I'm like, it's right here, all I gotta hit is okay. And so we're going down, we're flying into Pensacola, we've never been to the Gulf side of Florida, and then we're gonna shoot over to Fort Walton Beach. Has this, Debbie's been looking at it for literally 5 years. Every time I travel, she's like, this Holiday Inn's got a lazy river where you float to the bar. And I'm
nice.
I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So this time, we were like, we couldn't decide where we wanted to go. And I'm like, why don't we just go to that spot? She's like, okay. And it's literally like from us to the door to the beach.
Oh,
so it's
nice.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not getting in the water with shark attacks. I'm like, okay.
Nobody wants to eat you, Debbie.
I'm like, shark's gonna attack you. We'll be all right. Now watch, I'll fucking get ate by a shark or something.
You're gonna lose a leg.
She's like, haha, nobody wants me, Jay, but they want you. But we have intentions of doing nothing. Now, my idea of nothing and others are a little different. I'll probably take 4 or 5 books. If I'm sitting on a beach with my toes in the sand, I'll read. I don't have to be completely Zen-like and sit there like, that's the day you see that, I'm probably in a lot of trouble because that's just not my personality.
Right.
You seem kind of like that personality too. Like you can relax, but you don't want to be like
Oh, no.
4 days of doing nothing.
No, I like to stay doing stuff. But like, yeah, on a beach though, I can sit there and chill.
Yeah.
If I got water floating.
Something about
Sand
this,
in my toes.
something about the smell of the beach for me,
Mhm.
like that
It's
salty
relaxing.
ocean. It's just being from the Midwest where we are. It's not the same as going to a lake beach.
Nope.
It's like
Nope.
the ocean itself is way different, and I'm really looking forward to.
Well, you guys deserve it.
Yeah.
You put in a lot of hours.
We do.
And time.
And then you.
Away from each other, but it's nice to.
Yeah, the good news is I haven't been traveling the way I used to, so I'm home a lot more and we get a lot more of that time
Yeah.
to kind of just relax together at home. And then, yeah, it's gonna be fun, but just like we were talking about earlier, I like to go 1,000%. I was training for an Ironman and planning a memorial fundraiser event at the same time, so stress level right now is about as high as you can get.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the time this airs, we'll be talking about how great the fundraiser was. But it's just been one thing after another
Mhm.
for about a year now. So it's gonna be nice to. What the hell was that? That kid was loud.
Yeah, you
It's
should
outside
relax.
of the gym. But it'll have been a long time coming for us to just
Yeah.
relax. Hopefully we can pull it off.
You
So
will.
is Brandon the one that taught your son how to golf, or did your son just go pick it up?
Yeah, Brandon took him out the first time, and then he just continued to like it, so it wasn't very mean. He really had, last summer was the first time he actually went out consistently and golfed, so.
If he enjoys it, that's one of the, I started golfing very early on, and that's one of my
Mhm.
favorites still. I cannot golf for 6 months, and I get out on my golf course and you just start remembering all the days of just, you remember the dumbest golf shot you've ever hit
Oh, yeah.
or things like that. And you're like, why do I remember this right now? But it really is, it's a cool, like,
I told it it's a lifelong skill to have.
yeah,
It builds friendships at work as you get older.
yeah.
You can build relationships with work and all that, so.
I've cut some of my biggest sales on the golf course for my day job.
Mhm.
Like I've struck literally $10 million deals while I'm sitting there
Yeah.
on the golf course. And you don't have to be good at it. It's one of those, if you
Mhm.
just know how to not be an asshole.
Right,
and
yep.
It's one of those good sports. And it's always funny when I golf with people because like I'll play twice a year now. And I'll go out, like I played a couple weeks ago down in Dayton with one of my vendors, and he's like, "You're an asshole." He goes, "You just shot an 81 having not played in almost 18 months." And I was like, "Had a good day."
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure if you talk to like Barry Bonds right now, he could probably still hit a fucking home
Yep,
run.
absolutely.
Batting practice, yeah,
Mhm.
maybe not off live pitching,
Right.
but he can still hit a ball. Tiger won the Masters, and he's been super screwed up in his back forever.
Yep.
So it's one of those that, and I think to bridge it back into fitness, what I've noticed in doing what we do, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but walking in here and getting a different experience and kind of being outside of your comfort zone
Mhm.
on a day in, day out basis, you almost look like, it almost feels like the curveballs life throws at you isn't so bad because you're
Mhm.
like, oh shit, I'm getting used to walking in and expecting one thing and getting a different result. So it's like
Mhm.
your boss calls you and throws a last minute twist on your meeting. You're just like, oh,
Oh, what
it's
are you gonna do?
it's just one more thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm obviously biased because I'm the one that coined the phrase, but that I can't doesn't exist. I know you told me back in the day, was it Cheyenne you had in class? That
Oh, yeah.
someone would say, I can't, and she'd be like, that's burpees,
That's 10 burpees.
But instilling that in in each other, as well as I'm sure you as a parent, you kind of carry that over into your kids, and it just makes it to where everything seems more manageable. Like, yeah, you still get the highs and lows,
Oh, yeah.
but I just feel like the lows you can bounce back from a little bit, a little bit quicker. You know, it's just, I don't know why, because I mean, it's just
It
it's just
just
working
makes
out.
you stronger both mentally and physically, is
Yeah.
what I've learned from a lot of this as well. Even with my own personal life experience, it's like, you're gonna be dealt some shitty hands, and what do? You can't, not rolling over, so,
Yeah.
and you have to, things can be worse. Other people are dealing with things worse off than the next, so
100%.
you just gotta take what you are given and go with it and fight through whatever you're given.
And it's funny because you can draw that parallel to just working out, and then you can draw it down further where it's like you might be doing the same workout as someone else, just like you're living a personal life just like somebody else is. And inside of that, you guys have different ways of attacking it, different weights that you're using, different strengths, different weaknesses, and you almost learn, you know, like I kind of talked about earlier, your weaknesses stay kind of your weaknesses,
Yeah.
but your strengths sometimes get a bigger
Right.
gap between somebody else's strengths. So you almost learn how to leverage your strengths as well as working on your weaknesses, because you don't want to sit there and go, well, I'm just not going to pay attention to that. 'Cause
Right.
I remember early on, you're probably going to laugh at this, how many times did we have a race to 50 double unders and you kicked my ass? Because I was faster than them, but I always fucked up. And you were like just smooth and steady
Consistent.
laughing at me, and it pissed me off so bad. But in doing that, I got really freaking good at double unders because it was like, oh, I just want to beat Angie. You know,
That is one of my strengths. I
Yeah.
still can, I haven't jump rope in, gosh, we haven't had it in a while in a workout.
I tested one of the Joe P workouts with Scott England. I tested the final, but we did all of them in a row just to see how beat up you would be for the final. And I did double unders for the first time in like 7 months. And I still have. And I was
That's
like,
what
oh, damn.
I hadn't done it in a
Yeah.
while, and I picked up a rope, and I'm like, okay, yep, it's still
Yeah.
smooth as butter.
Yeah. And that's what's funny is in having those little mini competitions, we made each other better.
Yeah.
Even though it was your strength and it was my weakness, I'm not calling it a strength of mine now, but I got better at it, even though you kicked my ass, which I don't like to admit.
You're welcome.
I don't think I said thank you. I don't know. We'll have to
It was
review-
hidden in
we'll
there
have to-
somewhere.
We'll
It
have
was
to
hidden
review
in
the
there.
finish. It's hidden in there.
It was.
I-
I made you better. You're welcome.
You did make
Right?
it better, but I still hate double unders. That's
I
probably
don't
my
enjoy
least.
them.
Yeah, that's probably my least favorite movement to do. I don't know. Someone asked me how. Someone told me it must be nice to love working out, and I'm like, I don't really love working out. I like to sweat. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I like to challenge my thinking on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the working out part. I just like to. I spent so many years not challenging myself that I'm like, I just like to just show up and get my ass kicked like yesterday when I think I'm, you know, I like to be humbled
Right. Oh, yeah,
on a regular
definitely.
basis. And that kind of sounds fucked up, but
No, definitely, because I walk in thinking, oh, yeah, I got this, and I'm like, God, no, I didn't, that was horrible.
yeah.
But I do, it's, every workout is a challenge. Very rarely do I walk out and go, oh, that was easy.
I have when I had a rest day.
No
It was
shit.
easy watching you guys do a bunch. You know?
Yep.
That's the funny thing is you come in here and, you know, there are days my schedule just, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to take a rest day.
Yeah.
And I sit there and watch everybody and I'm like, this was a good thing. It wasn't bad that I had a rest day, you know? And then there's other days I show up and the same exact thing can happen. I'll be like, I feel bad. I've gotten better at this, but one of the things that used to bug me when I did programming and all is it took me a long time to prove to the members, I think, that if I put it on the board, I'm doing it as well.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I put like a 10K up there, I got up like 4 o'clock in the morning on the road to do a 10K and post my score. So I'd be like, look,
Yeah.
If I put it on the board, I will. When I put 300 burpees on the board, I don't stress about that as much anymore.
Yeah.
I think after 5 years, most people are like, that fucking dumbass will do all these workouts.
Oh, yeah.
They more go, God, he's an idiot, but there's a
Program
reason.
shit.
There's a reason for it. But it's just fun to sit there and see everybody's reaction and see the growth. I mean, we just sat here and in 55 minutes kind of talked about the last 5 years of what's become Angie and Jay's relationship, and you sit there and you go, we didn't even scratch the surface on half
Oh,
of
God, no.
what
No.
we went through.
Uh-uh.
I mean, if we actually sat there with a piece of paper and went through your timeline, we could probably talk for fucking 6 hours on all the crazy high ups and downs. One last funny story. I'm not sure if you'll remember this. You probably do. But my favorite part of the Angie D workout had nothing to do with the workout. It was when I looked at you and handed you the microphone and said, you have to give a speech. And
Yeah.
you just looked at me like, what a fucking dick. Because I went and grabbed it and I introduced myself and I started going through it and then I like called an audible. I'm like, no, she's here. She can do this. And your face when you realized that I was shifting
I was
from...
nervous.
Yeah.
I don't like talking in front of people.
No, but I don't remember exactly how you said it, but you said something about kicking cancer's ass or fuck cancer or something along those lines. And
I don't think I said fuck because there was a lot of people there. So I tried to, I don't know what I said. I don't think I said it.
I think you
It was
said,
along
I think you
those
said
lines.
I kicked cancer's
Yes, I
ass.
did.
Or,
Yeah.
but I want to say you said something along the lines of I kicked cancer's ass and now I realize I can't doesn't exist or something like that. And it was just a special, it was in that moment I'm like, oh damn, like we're doing something cool with this event. And one of my favorite parts of being JG3 Fitness is between all of the fundraisers we've done, we've donated over $10,000 to
awesome.
local charities. Most of them are cancer related, but that's the coolest thing
Oh,
that
yeah.
we do.
It's more than just a gym.
Yeah, we don't do this just for the high fives, the money and things like that, because you chase the wrong results. You start getting so focused on, I need this for that, where like when we did, Lexus Butterfly Hope, when we cut down the check, they were just blown away. When we've done checks for VFW or wherever it is, we disrupted the racing ticket to cancer. This one guy's been top fundraiser for like fucking 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
We dropped in 2 years, kicked his ass both years, and he was like, who are you guys? And that to me speaks volumes of the Fit fam as a whole. Because that's not me and Debbie, that's all of us getting together and saying, we want to make a positive impact.
Even with everything inside the gym, the issues with cancer and everything, just everything that we do, just, I don't know, means so much to, I know all those individual families, including myself, that we've all benefited from it, and it's a pretty cool thing.
Well, I think because you've had such a remarkable recovery, people forget until February that you went through all this shit.
Yeah.
So I know when Joe was first diagnosed, it was like the wave of emotion for like you and Katie Lord had lost, or Katie Brindley now has lost a family member to it, and everybody, like all that emotion came pouring back in, and it's like I couldn't imagine battling it myself. But in saying that, anybody that has watched the last year, or it's been longer than a year for Joe now, but when he was first diagnosed, I think everybody would agree I live it just as much as the families do. Like, there were times where, it was just us and the Pembertons, and it's funny because, like, I've become close with Carrie Pemberton's sister and Joe's mom and dad. Still, every time I show up, they're like, they give me a big hug. And I went to Taylor, myself and Debbie went to Taylor's graduation. It was like, we were at the family luncheon afterwards. I'm like, Debbie's like, is this weird? And I'm like, no, this is just who we are, I guess. And but yeah, cancer fucking sucks.
Ugh. Tell me about it.
One of these years will hopefully enough people will have donated to this that will find some kind of solution, because
Yeah.
it sucks to have people so young dealing with
Yeah.
such a just a fucked up.
Awful disease. Awful.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And just to think you have a cold or a flu or whatever, and then show up and have your whole world rocked
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
just,
I know.
I can't imagine.
Mm-mm.
You have anything you want to plug while you're here?
No, I mean, just this 5 years that I've been here has just been pretty amazing. I ain't going anywhere anytime soon, so you're stuck with me.
Damn it.
Sorry.
On that note.
See you later. But no, thank you. I
No.
appreciate everything you and Debbie do, and
Thank you for being a member. It's been a joy. I mean, we've shared not just fitness. We've had some beers. We've had some fun karaoke
speaking of that, I
nights.
think I still owe you a beer from Bar Louie.
Oh, you do. That was a while ago. Yeah. We've done comedy nights
Mhm.
out. We've done so many. The relationships we've built here have just been
Oh, yeah.
so amazing. I wouldn't change it for anything, even with the good, the bad, the
Yeah.
ugly. It's a fine trade-off. Yeah, there are days, don't get me wrong. I've had a couple of them lately where I feel that urge to just finally stoop and throw out my true feelings, and then I'm like, you know what, I look around and we have something like this where you remember
Yep.
the last 5 years and you're like, no,
Not worth it.
I don't need to. I can
Mhm.
just, we can be okay.
Yep.
We can be where we're at, and we can be happy, so.
Yep.
I think that's a good ending point
Yep.
for this podcast. So thanks, Angie, for coming on.
Hey.
This will be episode 1. I'm shooting several of these the next 2 weeks. I don't know what order I'm going to post them after that. I don't know when I'm going to start posting them. But when I do, I'll make sure to let you know.
All right.
But anyway, this has been the JG3 or whatever the fuck I'm going to call it podcast, where I Can't doesn't exist.